USC shuttle drivers rallied on campus. See why they want to unionize and what they're demanding.
LA County law enforcement agencies prepare for the worst during an active shooter drill. We'll take you to the university where the training happened.
And a former USC football player shares his inspiring story in tonight's Diversity Not Adversity segment.
Annenberg TV News is next.
USC shuttle drivers are taking action, making a move toward a drivers union. Hi, I'm Darielle Fair.
And I'm Jose Romo. Shuttle drivers are demanding that President Folt and other leaders commit to a fair union election process. Students and other community members marched with the shuttle drivers as they made their way through campus. Drivers say they are fighting to join SEIU Local 721 for higher pay and more respect. The union says USC managers have sent deceptive emails to drivers with anti-union messages. The protesters called for a stop to anti-union behavior today.
I mean, it's very simple: respect and dignity. And some a little bit of seniority respect. You know, we had drivers who have worked 20, 15, 10 years here, and they don't get any consideration.
I have really high hopes for this. I think that it's going to be successful. I think they are going to get their union, and I'm really excited for that.
USC Auxiliary Service oversees the USC shuttle system. The department released a statement saying, quote, "We value our shuttle drivers and the important work they do for the university. We respect our drivers' right to decide for themselves whether or not they wish to have a union represent them." USC shuttle drivers filed with the National Labor Relations Board earlier this month to hold a union election. The election is set for March 23rd.
The sunshine made a brief comeback today, but some areas of Southern California saw more rain and snow. Rory has more on how people are digging out of some local mountain communities.
Thanks, Darielle. Things are getting frosty in San Bernardino. Some residents are trapped because there's so much snow they can't even see the road. Los Angeles is about 60 miles west of San Bernardino, a place where many Trojans call home. More than 5 feet of snow fell over San Bernardino. The county declared a state of emergency yesterday. The snow has blanketed the roads and made them difficult for residents to drive. Some cars have even had to pull over on the side of the road because of the bad conditions. The Red Cross has opened an emergency shelter for residents who need a place to stay. It's located at Redlands East Valley High School on East Colton Avenue in Redlands. Back to you, Darielle.
Biola University held an active shooter drill today on its campus southeast of LA. Reporter Mariela Gomez talked to police and students about how the training exercise can help prepare law enforcement for when a shooting happens.
With the rise of gun violence across the U.S., Biola University hosted an active shooter training and exercise. The training incorporated simulated gunfire, bombs, and role players.
It's not an if, it's almost when. And it's unfortunate to stand up here and say that.
Sheriff Robert Luna emphasized that first responders from the Monterey Park shooting credited practice drills like the one at Biola with being ready.
This training, this type of training that they referred back to as suggesting that if it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have been as prepared.
Biola students also volunteered as role players during the training exercise.
So we had to wear these helmets to keep us safe, just in case if anything got near our eyes or anything. Not that we were in any of that situation or anything, but just being safe and stuff like that.
Biola's chief of campus safety reiterated the importance of notifying law enforcement when you see something suspicious.
For students not to voice out if they come across any situation or anyone that may seem threatening, so that the proper people and authorities can follow up appropriately.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has even created Surviving an Active Shooter Guide both in English and in Spanish. Inside these 2 pamphlets, 3 very important steps of what to do in the case of an active shooter. Run, hide, and fight for your life.
See something, say something. Nothing is too small to report because it could lead to possibly apprehending or finding that person.
And finding that person can prevent a mass shooting. For Annenberg Media, I'm Biola Gomez.
A new statewide poll released today from the University of California, Berkeley shows that Californians fear gun violence may affect them or a loved one. The poll concluded that in California, 78% of Democrats were worried about gun violence, but only 36% of Republicans have those same concerns.
The biggest difference was by party. And all we can surmise is that really it has to do with the very deep party polarization that is present among Californians when it comes to guns. This is the first time we've seen anything in relation to just feeling threatened with gun violence.
The study authors also found that 60% of survey participants were in favor of tighter rules when it comes to firearm possessions.
The Supreme Court heard arguments today about President Biden's student debt relief program. 6 Republican-leaning states sued the Biden administration, claiming only Congress can forgive student debt.
And we will continue the pursuit toward our ultimate goal of ensuring not one, not some, but every single student has what they need and what they deserve to live into their brilliance.
Students, borrowers, and activists rallied outside the Supreme Court in support of Biden's debt relief plan. Borrowers, once celebrating the plan, now wait anxiously. The court's conservative majority seems skeptical.
People who've paid their loans, people who don't have planned their lives around not seeking loans, and people who are not eligible for loans in the first place, and that $500 billion is being diverted to one group of favored persons over others.
If you're going to affect the obligations of that many Americans on a subject that's of great controversy, they would think that's something for Congress to act on.
Reporter Nia Harris spoke with USC students about how student loan debt forgiveness could impact their lives.
Student loans can be a hassle for students seeking higher education. Deciding between more schooling and taking on debt can be challenging for students preparing for their future. President Biden's student loan debt forgiveness plan can help millions of qualified students. Up to $20,000 of student loan debt can be forgiven.
Students at USC react to what the student loan forgiveness plan could mean to them and how it could help limit other financial responsibilities.
I was really excited for that opportunity because I have to take out loans to be here. So, the thought of getting to come here and then after school, be able to cut my loans in half, I thought that would majorly impact my life.
Going to college is a very big financial undertaking, one of which I have often struggled with. I don't think we should have to pay as much or take on such a huge burden just to go to school and educate ourselves.
The forgiveness plan could also help students ease concerns about pursuing multiple degrees.
I was actually considering the PhD program. It was a big impact because it let me kind of lessen the burden of what all the loans that I've taken out for my bachelor's and master's. I think you do want that support in some way, especially if you don't qualify for certain scholarships.
The Supreme Court will likely make its decision on President Biden's debt forgiveness plan by late June. For Annenberg Media, I'm Nia Harris.
The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors agreed to end the county's COVID-19 emergency declaration at the end of the month. The vote came on the same day as Governor Newsom officially ended the statewide emergency declaration. LA County supervisors say the county is better prepared to handle COVID and no longer needs the same level of emergency response to the virus.
The major reason why is because with new procedures in place, we have more vaccinations, and of course we have boosters, we have better therapeutics. Number of cases has declined considerably. The number of hospitalizations and deaths have also gone down even at a higher rate.
Over the past 3 years, California has experienced 103,000 deaths related to COVID. President Biden plans to end the national and public health COVID emergencies May 11th.
Many older veterans who have experienced homelessness now have a place to call home. A new 60-unit housing complex opened today on the V8 campus in West Los Angeles. Funding comes from a partnership of private and government agencies. This is the first completed building of an ambitious housing plan for veterans 62 and older. The goal? to build a total of 1,200 units for more than 3,000 veterans. Veterans will have access to trails for biking and walking, gardens, an art studio, and medical and mental health services. In this week's Diversity Not Adversity segment, our very own Faith McGrath talks with a former USC long snapper. Faith?
Thank you, Jose. I had the incredible opportunity to interview Jake Olson about his battle with a rare cancer known as rhinoblastoma. He lost both of his eyes by the age of 12.
Obviously, my life changed a ton once I lost my eyesight, as you can imagine. But I still want to do the things that I loved. I made myself a promise that blindness wasn't going to rob me of doing the things that I loved. And that included playing the sports that I loved. And that obviously included football. And so continue to play football despite not having eyesight.
Despite his diagnosis, Jake didn't let others' doubts stop him from playing football. And he became one of the most legendary long snappers at USC. Let's take a look.
And he will long snap back for this extra point. The snap is perfect. The kick is up, and the kick is good.
I wanted just to be an example to others where they can, look at me and then find courage inside themselves to face their fears and face their adversity and go dominate life.
Jake continues to inspire those around him. He hopes that those struggling with diversity find the courage to pursue their passions despite the adversity that they face. This is what this week's Diversity Not Adversity segment. Back to you, Darielle.
The women's basketball team is on the way to Vegas with their first game against the Oregon State Beavers tomorrow. Sports will tell us more.
Luncheon honored Black leaders in journalism today in Los Angeles. We'll meet some of the guests.
Found out more about how a USC student organized the first Black career fair on campus as a part of Black History Month.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
On the last day of Black History Month, the London and West Hollywood hosted a luncheon to honor prominent members of the Black community. The event showcased a variety of Black speakers, journalists, and community leaders. Special guest Karen Bass emphasized the importance of lifting up Black voices.
This event was amazing to see a bunch of Black people that are community leaders in the Los Angeles area. As a native of Los Angeles, it's just amazing for me.
Not too often do the Black journalists get acknowledged the way they should be acknowledged. It's so important that the mayor would show up to support one of the communities that she is from.
Although today marks the end of Black History Month, cultural events like these and leaders like Bass continue to highlight Black voices in the city of Los Angeles.
USC made a bit of Black history during Black History Month. Reporter Olivia Tyler captured the historic moment.
USC hosts many career fairs, but this is the first one specifically for Black students. After 115 days of preparation, the historic event was a success.
The fact that it's a Black career fair and there's companies here that I'm interested in, like Disney, Paramount, Sony, because I am a film major.
I'm a part of marketing team, so I was in charge of promoting the Black career fair. I am beyond happy with the turnout because this is honestly a historic event. This is the first ever Black career fair that USC has ever hosted. Seeing Black employers and seeing people that look like us in such high positions, I think it's very encouraging.
Students took full advantage of USC's first Black career fair. 339 Black Trojans came to meet the 17 companies in attendance. And who do they have to thank for this opportunity? A junior named Ireolua Omituoju.
Why not have a career fair where we're bringing in recruiters to intentionally recruit from the Black students at our campus, and also so that the students can create like very genuine networking connections and mentorship through those people who are coming on campus.
She studies at USC's Ivan and Young Academy. Ire is the programming chair for the Black Student Assembly, the vice president of her sorority, an e-board member of entrepreneurial organization Spark SC, and a dancer on USC's first majorette team, the Cardinal Divas of SC.
I've always been involved with a lot of organizations, and I was always striving to bring in more diversity and inclusion within those spaces.
I think the benefits of having a career fair specifically for Black students is so helpful, especially going to a PWI, because we're able to be in person, they're able to get our resumes, and we're actually able to talk to them, see if it's a good fit.
Well, I think it's been an amazing event. I mean, to see so many people of color, introducing themselves to different career opportunities, I mean, it's magical. Specifically here in the law enforcement realm, I mean, obviously there's a slight disdain on what the culture is in law enforcement, and we're here to hopefully get people to see things differently.
After a long night of headshots, resume reviews, and more, Black Trojans are feeling inspired to enter the workforce, all because of one young woman. Ireolua Omituoju. For Annenberg Media, I'm Olivia Tyler.
Now, Rory, with this cold weather, I think we're all walking around like rappers and saying, brrr. How's the weather looking like?
That's a good one, Jose. As February comes to a close, so should your windows because it is getting chilly out. Let's take a look at those current conditions. Today, we're sitting at 54 degrees with 66% humidity, so it's very chilly today. I walked in with 2 sweatshirts, and we can go ahead and take a look at the 5-day weather forecast. Tomorrow, we're going to have the same weather, with the weather sitting at 54 and a low of 44. And Thursday through Sunday, we have the same consistent weather, all in the 60s and all lows of 43 to 45 degrees. And I know as a native Californian, I'm ready for some warm weather, and I've been doubling up on my jackets all week. That's all I have for weather. Let's shoot it over to Marissa with the sport that most benefits from my height. What's going on in the court?
Thank you, Rory. USC women's basketball team finished their regular season with a sweep. Are they locked in for the big dance? Stay tuned to find out. The men of Troy have 2 games left in the regular season. After beating the Mountain Schools, have the Trojans burst through the tournament bubble yet? Lakers superstar LeBron James suffered an injury last game. How does this impact the team's playoff hopes? All up next on ATVN.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Jeremy Cole.
And I'm Marissa Rio. The USC women's basketball team is set to make the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2014. Head coach Lindsay Gottlieb shared her excitement after the team's win against Washington.
The success is a function of their hard work and the type of players they are. It means a lot to me that they get to experience it. It means a lot to me that they're going to get to experience the NCAA tournament. Like, that's what they're going to remember, right? Like the stuff that they do together as a group, not the individual stats, not all of that. It's going to be, that we were part of a winning team.
The women of Troy have a lot to boast about this season. For the first time in program history, the women's team has 3 players on the All Pac-12 team. Caddy Sissoko, Destiny Littleton, and Rhea Marshall. Sissoko leads USC in scoring with over 15 points a game, while Littleton is the Trojans' second leading scorer with 13.9 points per game. And last but not least, Marshall is the only player in the Pac-12 averaging a double-double. She also made the Pac-12 All-Defensive Team. The Trojans are now off to Las Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. They face Oregon State in the first round tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.
The USC men's basketball team is no longer on the March Madness bubble. In this week's edition of Joe Lunardi's Bracketology, the men of Troy are now projected as a 10 seed. But first, I want to take a look at the current standings for the Pac-12 tournament coming up next week. Down here, you see you have Utah and Oregon State. That's looking like the first matchup going into against USC. I'm going to go with Utah personally. I like the Utes. They're a pretty strong team. Then up top, we have Washington versus Colorado. Colorado's only good at home. Washington, that's a pretty easy pick for me right there. Next, we have between Oregon and Cal. Oregon's really strong, and Cal's last place in the Pac-12. Oregon's the easy pick for me. Moving on, between Washington State and Stanford, I think Washington State is a bit underrated, and they just played Stanford in Stanford or at Stanford. They destroyed them there. I like Washington State. They're pretty underrated, honestly. Moving on to the second round, UCLA, they're going to take it. They're too talented of a team. Arizona State, they're going to get upset by Oregon. Will Richardson and Nafali Dante are really solid. Next, Arizona, just like UCLA, they're too talented to lose. But then down here, USC versus Utah, USC just beat Utah away. They're going to beat them in Vegas. It's neutral territory. I like USC here. Moving on to the semifinals, Utah moving on to the finals. Then down here, between Arizona and USC, I'm sorry, Trojans, Arizona's moving on. And last but not least, I can't believe I'm saying it myself, but the Bruins are going to be the champions. UCLA, they're going to win the Pac-12. But before the tournament, however, we got to talk about USC. They have 2 games left. They're hosting Arizona on Thursday and Arizona State on Saturday to conclude the regular season. The number 8 Wildcats are 1-0 against the Trojans this season, but the Sun Devils, they're looking to avenge their January loss against USC. So Marissa, what does USC need to do down the stretch in the regular season in these final games and in the Pac-12 tournament to solidify their spot in March Madness?
Well, Germany, they need 2 more wins, so they absolutely have to beat Arizona State and then probably get their next win in the quarterfinals of the Pac-12 tournament, because I just don't think they have it in them to beat Arizona. Now, they did surprise me in their road sweep against the Mountain Schools, but they had 5 players score in the double figures, and they needed players to step it up when Drew Peterson and Boogie Ellis can't perform. So I think if they keep up that momentum, they'll do well.
100%. And in Vegas, it's a neutral site. If they carry that momentum forward, I like our chances.
Yeah.
After Lakers point guard D'Angelo Russell went down with an ankle injury last Thursday, the injury bug bit the Lakers again, but this time it got LeBron James. Late in the third quarter during a 27-point comeback against the Dallas Mavericks, LeBron suffered a right foot injury while driving to the hoop. You just saw it right there. But after the game, the King was seen walking with a noticeable limp, and the Lakers are expected to reassess their superstar in 2 weeks. Quickly looking at the Western Conference play-in picture, the Lakers are 29-32 this season and are half a game back of that final play-in spot. There are only 21 games remaining this season, so all eyes will be on LeBron to see how long he's sidelined for. Marissa, how does this injury to LeBron affect their chances to make the playoffs, and who needs to step up in his absence?
Well, they're just not going to make the playoffs, I don't think. When LeBron James isn't in, who are you looking at? You're looking at Anthony Davis, and he's injury prone. He just missed 20 consecutive games. He's only played 37 games this season. I just don't think it's looking good for them.
Yeah, AD's got to carry the team if they want a chance to make the playoffs. I agree with you right there.
Before we sign off, we want to shout out Nika Agubionde for becoming the first black woman in Pac-12 history to win 2 Pac-12 diving titles. Congratulations, Nika. And that's all we have for ATVN Sports. I'm Marissa Rio.
And I'm Jeremy Cole. Now we're going to send it over to Jacob at the monitor.
Thanks, guys. After weeks of hard-fought campaigning, polls have closed in the USC undergraduate student government elections. I'm Jacob Wheeler. Stick around to see how you can get the results from tonight's announcement and what current USG leadership has to say.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
Tonight, reporter Jacob Wheeler will co-anchor a USG Election Night special. He joins us live in the studio. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Darielle, that's exactly right. We are just hours away from knowing who will be the next student body president. And as we wait for those results, we asked USG President Hannah Woodworth about what's next for her.
I have no idea who's going to win. I'll be right there at the Senate meeting with y'all, waiting to see who it is. So no, I'm curious who it's going to be. The fact that we had 5 tickets running for president and vice president, which is something we haven't seen in maybe decades. I don't know the last time we've seen that. To me, is a testament to the fact that people see USG as an effective and healthy organization.
Do you think all of the 5 presidential candidates would make a good president?
Yes, I do.
You heard there from Hannah Woodworth, and tonight USG sources tell Annenberg Media that voter turnout might shock you. So we'll have all the numbers and all the results right here on ATVN starting at 7:30 tonight. It's election night at USC. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Darielle Fair.
And I'm Jose Romo. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Annenberg Media. Have a good night.